Welcome back to the channel. You're watching Sawtooth Tactical. Online gun culture has exploded in the last, I don't know exactly how many years, but I think that it's a really good thing. Not that there aren't drawbacks, but when I first got into this, I needed information because I didn't know anything. And so I turned to YouTube and I found lots of good information and lots of bad information. And it took a while to disseminate what was worthwhile information and what wasn't. Well, there isn't only YouTube, there is also an entire culture of firearm related content on Facebook. Now, I'm not a big social media person. I know that's hard to understand since I have a YouTube channel that I work on constantly, but I'm not. I'm not on Instagram, I'm not on any of these other things. I have a YouTube channel and I have a Facebook account. But one thing that I've learned, I've joined a lot of Facebook gun groups. And there are gun groups for just about any little facet of the gun community. Whatever you're into, there's a group or 10 or 100 groups about exactly that. Now you can easily get caught in getting a lot of bad information from some of these groups. And I think that there is one group in particular that really has mostly good information and they police themselves very effectively. And so we're going to talk about that today. And if that's interesting to you, make sure you're subscribed and let's begin. I think that Facebook gun groups are valuable for a number of reasons. For one thing, I think that it's good to be part of a community of like-minded individuals. Now, I don't have a whole lot of friends that are really into this the same way that I am. I know a few people that are definitely gun guys that go out and shoot, but do I go out and shoot with them regularly? Every once in a while. I don't know a whole lot of people that go out every weekend like I do, or really care to know as much about this stuff as I do, like I'm sure many of you do as well. And so it's good to be able to find these online communities of like-minded people. But like I said, you do have to be a little bit careful about the information that you get out there because you can definitely have confirmation bias on things that you believe that might not be true or might not be, good information. And and on the other hand, you could definitely stumble upon groups that have really good information that might be not what you believe, but it's good to be able to learn from them. Quick word from this video's sponsor. I've been using Aura now for a couple of months. I know you guys have seen it in my videos if you've been watching, and it's a product and a service that I really actually believe in at this point. It has totally stopped me from getting spam calls. Now, data brokers are a real thing these days. Scammers, spammers, all this stuff. I've been trying to sell a pickup truck lately, and at first all I was getting was scammers. Well, Aura took care of that, and I'm not hearing from the scammers anymore. Unfortunately, I still haven't sold the truck, but I've got a lot of examples like that. In fact, the place where I work just recently got scammed, and we lost out on a whole day's worth of revenue. Well, Aura can stop things like that from happening. They search the entire internet for anywhere where your information is being sold to people, and they submit opt-out requests on your behalf, which takes care of your information being out there. It clears you up so that you stop getting spam calls, you stop getting scammers. There are people out there these days whose whole career is just scamming people out of their money by finding their information on the internet. And as sickening and as sad as that is, it's a reality. And for only $12 a month, you can stop them from being able to take advantage of you. If you use my link, which is the first link in the description, aura.com/sawtooth-tactical, you get to try it out free for 2 weeks. And then you can decide if it's something that you still want to stick with. But Aura is pretty confident that you'll stick with it, and that's why they give you that 2-week free trial. $12 a month after that is a really good deal for all of the different things that you get with Aura. I've been sticking with it for a few months. I'm really happy with it. I respect my privacy and I respect yours. My point is that you can learn just about anything through YouTube and Facebook. And even though the the information overlords that own YouTube and Facebook are very against the Second Amendment, there is still a lot of gun groups on Facebook and a lot of gun channels on YouTube. Now, what I mean that you can find groups that don't have really good information, there's a lot of them out there. And I'm still members of a lot of them. And a lot of them are very entertaining, to say the least. And I learned some bad things from some of them at first. And then I found one group in particular that I think is actually very valuable. And that group is the Meal Team 6 group. And I've found that that is a really good community. It's run by some guys that are very knowledgeable. Big shout out to Johnny, Fernando, and the boys. And they really know what they're talking about, and they have a passion for this stuff. And even though I think a lot of people join those groups and they think that they're getting bullied, but it's actually all in good fun. It's done with good intentions. For the most part, and I do say for the most part, these guys just want you to improve, because it really is one thing you'll learn. And I've gotten a lot of heat lately on some of my recent videos that people that used to watch the channel because I specifically showed a lot of budget gear on it. And now they say that I'm all Gucci. Well, I've still got tons of budget stuff, but I did build one really nice rifle. And I want to continue to build nicer stuff. And a lot of people think that they can't afford nicer stuff. And that's not really true. And that's one thing I kind of learned from some of these groups, specifically the Meal Team 6 group. And they actually sent me this magazine, Johnny did, which kind of got me on a little bit of addiction. And I've got more of them coming. And these come from a member of that group, Matt Gore at MLG Customs. I'll put his link down in the description. But he does awesome custom stuff. And being a member of a community like that, you get to meet people like that. And you find opportunities that you might not otherwise. But you also find really good information. And one thing I've learned from building a nicer rifle, besides the fact that there is a big difference in the way they shoot. Yes, a PSA rifle is gonna shoot bullets downrange, just like a $4,000 rifle will. But is it gonna feel exactly the same? Is it gonna last as many rounds? This PSA had the bolt break. You know, it's had more rounds on it than this one, but I doubt that my BCM bolt will break. And a lot of people say that, you know, this is elitist behavior, or that I'm, you know, acting Gucci or whatever. Well, it's not really that. And what I've realized is that anyone can afford a nice rifle if you just do it like I did. I didn't buy a $4,000 rifle. I'm not rich by any means. YouTube does not make me a lot of money. But what I did is I bought one part at a time. I bought a nice ADM lower receiver. And then I bought another part and another part and another part. And instead of spending all that money all at once, I spent a little money a bunch of times to end up with a really nice rifle. And I plan to do more of those. And honestly, I feel like that money was better spent than spending hundreds of dollars on a cheaper rifle. Now, don't get me wrong, I still love my cheaper guns. They're a lot of fun and I still shoot them all the time. But these groups, you can learn a lot from them about what good quality is, but you also become part of a community if you interact with these guys. And the gun community in general is very accepting and a very, really nice group of guys and girls. The thing is, you do have to be a little bit careful if you don't have thick skin, because the better groups do police themselves. Now, some of the groups, and I don't want to name specific groups, but anything kind of goes in them. And so there's a lot of bad information out there. The groups that I think have mostly good information to share, they do police themselves. And a lot of people look at it as bullying. I mean, there's even a group called Gun Bullying Works. But, and it's true, it does work. But the thing is, you have to have a little bit of thick skin and you have to be careful. If you join one of these mid-tier or higher groups and you don't have mid-tier gear, well, don't post your, M&P rifle or your PSA rifle and expect everyone to tell you it's good, because they won't. And again, like I said, I've got a PSA right behind me and I love that thing. But I didn't post it on the mid-tier group. What I did is I hung back and I I absorbed information. And then once I built a really nice rifle, then I posted that. And, you know, the guys liked it. And it doesn't really matter if someone else likes your stuff or not, and that's not what I'm trying to say. But once you get to that point, you will have something that you're proud of, and you will want to share it. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with being proud of something that you built yourself. And there's really good things about being a member of a community and learning and growing in your hobby. You know, I think that there's absolutely nothing wrong with getting, you know, cheap rifles to start and to learn with. But if you're not trying to grow and progress, if you're really into this, which I am, then what's the point? Anything that I do in life, I want to do it as good as I can. You know, where I work, I started at the very bottom and now I'm the boss. And when it comes to firearms, it's the same way. And I want to keep getting better and better gear. I'm looking at night vision now. Not that I can afford it yet, but I'm looking at it. You know, I'm wanting to get suppressors for everything. Because the guys that have really done this for a long time, they do know that, you know, better stuff really is better. And there's nothing wrong with that. I hear a lot of people say things like, you know, that money would be better spent on ammo and training, or that people that have nice rifles, that they're just safe queens, they sit in the safe. And for some reason, these people think that the guys that own cheap gear are out there training and taking classes, and the guys that own good gear aren't, and they just build nice rifles to put in the safe. But in my experience, what I've seen is that most of the guys that can afford good gear can afford ammo and can afford to go out and train and shoot a lot. I'm not saying it's every one of them, but a lot of them that have nice stuff, they have nice stuff because they're into this and they use it, you know, and they don't care if it gets scratched up. My EOTech has scratches all over it because it got dropped. Big deal, it still works. And I really like it. It's a fantastic optic. There's a reason why it costs more than a Holosun. The Holosun works great too, but there is a reason that the EOTech costs more. It's clearer. It just is. Not the reticle, but the window, the glass. Anyway, my point with this little video is that if you're watching this, you probably are on YouTube and you watch gun-related content and you learn from it, just like I did, just like I still do. Well, Facebook can be another place to find that kind of content. Just be careful which groups you get your information from, and understand that some information is not going to be as good as other information. And again, I do really want to shout out this group in particular, the Meal Team 6 group. That's their logo on these magazines. I think that that's where you're going to find mostly really good information. You might, if you say dumb stuff, they're going to police it in that group. And that's why there's mostly good information there. And because it's self-policed. And they do this in a way, it's called flexing. And it's a part of the Facebook gun group culture. If you say something dumb, someone's going to flex you. And it's, the way it works is just whoever has the nicest gun wins. The nicest guns, actually. But you know what? It's all in good fun. Even if you lose, who cares? You know what I mean? Mostly these days, if someone loses, they just have to do something funny. But also, if you don't say anything dumb, you probably won't get flexed and you won't have to worry about it. And another great thing about it is that it's just great gun porn. You can scroll through the group posts, and these guys have a lot more money than I do, and they post really nice guns all the time. And it's motivating. It makes me want to build nicer guns. And I don't think that there's anything wrong with that. So if you get a lot of gun information from YouTube, check out the Facebook groups as well. I think specifically this group, Meal Team 6. The guys that run the group are awesome. They really do care about this stuff, which I think is pretty cool. I do too, or I wouldn't have a YouTube channel. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a like. Please share it. From Sawtooth Tactical, stay strapped or get clapped.